Hi, this is one of the most famous traps around, and if ever there was an Oscar for chess traps, then this would be a nomination for top honours. And if Carlsberg ever did chess trap videos, then they would certainly do this one. It's the Tarrasch trap in the Steinitz variation of the Spanish Ruy Lopez, not to be confused with the other Tarrasch trap in the Spanish Open variation. And the reason that this is such a highly thought of trap is because black seems to play excellent, solid, logical moves, yet nonetheless gets snared. This trap has occurred many times, and it takes its name from the game Tarrasch versus Marco 1892. Bishop b5, the Spanish, and black tries d6, the Steinitz variation. d4, and black unpins himself with bishop d7, knight c3, developing, knight f6, castles, bishop e7, and white now puts his rook on e1 on the semi-open e-file. Well, the most logical natural move for black is to castle. However, this move is his downfall, as it cedes the pawn on e5. Usually in the Spanish, that e5 pawn can't really be taken so early on. Black has enough defensive resources at his disposal. Here, however, white wins that e5 pawn, goes a +1 score up, and that is usually a decisive advantage at top level. So how does white get that e5 pawn? Removing the guard, bishop takes c6, bishop takes c6, pawn takes e5, pawn takes e5, and here white has to swap queens, so queen takes. Black can take back in a number of ways. We're going to have a look first at rook a takes on d8, and white gets that pawn he wanted on e5. However, black feels that he too can win a pawn, since after bishop takes, knight takes, knight takes knight, white cannot recapture that knight because of the back row mate, which we sometimes call in these parts underwater mate. But white has a great attacking move which achieves several objectives. The knight drops back to d3, and now the knight on e4 and the bishop on e7 are both under fire. So f5 guards the knight, and after f3, black looks as if he's losing a piece. However, there's still more to come. Bishop c5 gives black a chance. After bishop c5, white has to play carefully. If king e1, black does fine with knight f2. If king f1, then a very clever move by black, he can just drop the bishop back to b6, because if white now takes the knight on e4, black takes the pawn, f takes e4, discover check on the king, and the white knight is under attack. And even after knight f4, black will get that knight back with moves g5 or e3. So we had knight d3, f5, f3, bishop c5 hitting the king. So how does white realize his advantage? Well, knight takes c5 is actually winning for white, because after knight takes on c5, bishop g5 hits the rook on d8, but its real aim, its real goal is to get to e7 and hitting the rook on f8 and the knight on c5. And after rook d5, bishop e7, hitting the rook on f8, rook e8, and now c4 finally wins material for white, and white is winning. If we back up now to the trade of queens on d8, we're going to look at what happens if black would have taken with rook f takes d8. Well, a similar theme: knight takes e5, bishop takes e4, bishop takes e4, knight takes e4, and knight d3. Same type of threat as before, f5 and f3. But now things are different, because after bishop c5, knight takes c5, knight takes e5 is okay for black. White has another win, king f1, and now the f3 pawn is threatening to take the knight on e4. Black looks busted, but he has one last defensive resource, rook f8. And now if f takes e4, black will get the piece back with a discovered check. However, a great last move for white. Can you see it? It's king e2, renewing the threat f takes e4, and in turn, when the knight moves, the white knight on d3 will be hitting the bishop on c5, and white here is winning. So that has been the Tarrasch trap in the Spanish Steinitz variation. Hope you found it useful. Bye bye.